we've got to give a toast to France Toast. Pardon my pun. He's the if you don't know, he's the primary principal of AlphaTauri, and he's going to be retiring this year. So AlphaTauri going to new team leadership, though it is the sister team of Red Bull, but it will be a new at the top of the team, new leadership next year, as well as a new name, which I don't know. There's a bunch of what the team will be named next year has been bouncing around. I don't know. They've been all horrible names. I think it's probably they're testing the ground. I think these are being all leaked because they're testing. It's more marketing testing. What might work as a marketing piece. Business. Go figure. The other big is that McLaren is going to be using the Mercedes engine through 2023 was the news story that came out 2 days ago, essentially. Racing Bulls is the current one that's out there. I doubt they're going to let them. I doubt that they're going to let them be called Racing Bulls. That would be really that's. I'd rather see them go back to Toro Rosso than to go to Racing Bulls, to be quite honest. So we'll see. We have just started FP3, but no one's on track just yet. This is typical with FP3. It's like a game of chicken. Who's going to go out first? So again, no one's on track just yet. Joining me right now is Gaster. Thank you, Gaster. He's one of our new commentators this year. Again, if you want to be more involved with the community, I mean, like I came up through, I was a mod and then I became a commentator. Gaster is in our community through Discord. If we're looking for, we're going to be looking for more people next year, obviously. We've grown. We're going to need more mods. We're going to probably need more commentators, particularly for the practices. There's only so many of these practices I can do during the year. Welcome, Gasper. How you doing, my friend?
Wait. I feel like I'm struggling here. Okay, let me try this a bit.
So we've got our first cars on track. Hamilton, Stroll, and Alonso are on track at the moment, doing outlaps. We've got one of the Aston Martin stalking Hamilton around a curb. See, right now only 3 cars are out. The Aston Martin and Hamilton right now. I've got moments where I'm not talking, Gaster, at the moment. Science is the next one out on track at the moment. While we wait for these guys to get around and start doing, they have not yet done their flying laps. They're just getting around the track for the first time.
Apologies for that silence. I was trying to figure out why sound was fading in and out. Turns out it was on my side.
Okay, cool. All right. You good now, Gaster?
Yep, I should be all right. I can hear you.
Okay. All right. If you guys look through the FIA documents, basically there were 3 curfew breakers last night, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Aston Martin. These were the second of 2 exceptions allowed. So we're, nothing in terms of news there. No news about science. Vijay in chat says no news about science penalty. That is correct. It doesn't look like he has been like basically all the repairs on his car are like incidental, like pieces like around the wheel. Why only 4 cars on track? I don't know. Teams, we've seen this several times with pre-practice 3, where they wait because the temperature and um, the temperature and the track conditions right now are not comparable to what you're going to see in quali. So like I've seen again, they wait on FP3 for like 15 minutes at least.
Yeah, I think as you said, it's all to do with the temperature, so they're not really too interested. God, right now. So it looks like Hamilton's still doing a lap on soft tires, though. He was
Yes.
one of the drivers that was out of practice 1, so maybe that's why he's out to really at least get some time in the car. Same for Alonso, I assume. But Alonso was on hards, was he?
I'm not sure what tire Alonso's on. I know we've got Sainz on a medium. I know Hamilton was on a soft tire. He did a 126.6.
Which is it's not that fast. Yeah.
No, but the track there is going to be a lot of track evolution. There are parts of this track were resurfaced, so that's one of the things in play here. We saw drivers, particularly I believe turn it was between turn 2 and 3 and then the final turn were the 2 places where we've been having issues with drivers.
Yep. Sainz has just set a fastest lap of the session so far, but as you said, it's really early into so far. We can't really get anything from the first few laps.
We've got Leclerc and Hulkenberg doing an outlap right now, and then so many like Aston Martin has done basically installation laps. They've come back in I think twice in both cases. So they've set no time as of yet. Things that we can talk about while we wait at the moment. Leclerc is about to do a flying lap. Perez is on track. So let's talk about the constructors. Basically, Red Bull is secured first. Alpine is basically fixed in at 6. So we've got a battle for P2 between Mercedes and Ferrari, and then a battle for P4 between Aston Martin and McLaren. And then we've got the battle at the bottom between Williams, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Haas. Right now, Williams is at the top of that pile of 27 points. 28 points. 27 coming from Albon, 1 from Sargent. AlphaTauri at 21, 13 from Yuki, 6 from the Hyundai Badger, Daniel Ricciardo. Nothing from De Vries, obviously, who was in his seat earlier. Then Alfa Romeo, we've got 10 from Bottas, 6 from Zhou, and then Haas, we've got 9 from Hulkenberg and 3 from Magnussen. As I've said that, Gasly, Sargent, Zhou, Ocon have started their outlaps.
Okay, Perez is still on an outlap.
Leclerc right now is on a flying lap.
He's 2/10 behind Sainz at the second sector, so. Yeah, finished 2/10 behind Sainz. Perez.
Griffin Jazz saying the battle for P4 is not really a battle because McLaren are 11 points ahead and they have a better car. Yeah, but Lando crashed out last race, so that's what part of what's pushing this together.
I think we'd really have to see how Aston does so far, because we didn't. For the first practice, it was mainly just the rookies really just getting a feel of the car. Second session was practically ruined by the two red flags, so most of the car had very little runtime. So I think in this session, we'll really find out if the McLarens are really that far ahead or if they're not.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we're seeing Stroll having some really good um, finishes this at the end of this year. Very much a surprise. So if
Oh,
he
I
is
agree.
basically, yeah, I mean, like that. This is why it's still considered a battle, even though they're ahead. McLaren is still ahead, um, and it's a 7 points difference between McLaren to Aston Martin in that case. Um, even
Stroll
though they're
seems to be
ahead,
doing pretty well so far, so
so
I
yeah,
think
it's
we'd really
one
have
of
to see.
those. We'll see how this goes. I mean, this is why we watch. See what happens.
Yep, that's the whole point of watching practices. Look, I think both Stroll and Alonso is currently on an out lap on soft tires, so they should be doing a flying lap right after. Gasly just gets second in the standings, but he's still 9/10 of Perez's time. Looks like Red Bull might be asking for a bit more pace off the bat.
Perez went out on a soft tire. He did a 125. Science is is a second off. Gasly is about
9/10, but he's
nine
on
tenths
softs too.
soft as well. Show is
I think he's
slotting
on
at
his
six.
medium.
Lando's on an out lap right now, so we'll see how things go.
Yeah. One of the so-called main teams that we should look out for the constructors, I mean, the obvious ones are Ferrari and Mercedes for P2, and then McLaren and Aston Martin for P4. Is there any others, especially at the back of the grid?
What about that at the back of the grid?
Like, what other constructors should we like look at? Like, what are the interesting competition that we want to see between the constructors at the back?
In the back, it's really basically who anyone from Williams, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, or Haas scores points. Particularly AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Haas. If those are the teams, if any of them are scoring points, we could see a shift. Like Haas is at 12 points. They are 4 points behind Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo is BC 5 points behind AlphaTauri. I mean, like any significant points from those teams are going to shift the order of the bottom four.
So really, it's just who makes it into points in the first place.
Yeah, I mean this is I mean this is about who is excuse me this is about the final ordering and basically prize money for particularly these teams. Um, I think it's more the drivers is actually, if we want to get more nitty gritty, the drivers are more interesting because it's a battle for fourth. So Sainz and Alonso both at 200 points. Sainz has the advantage right now because he's got that one win. Norris is at 195, 5 points behind, and then you've got Leclerc sitting back at 188, 12 points behind. So that battle for fourth is something to keep an eye on going forward.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd like to
Russell's pretty
point
much.
out,
Yep.
just Aston Stroll, he went second fastest and even took fastest sector 2, while Alonso is actually behind him by 4/10. And just as I say that, Norris just sets second fastest with 125.8, slightly in front of Stroll. It's once again, it's surprising to see Stroll up there again.
Yeah, and that's one of the big issues. That's one of the stories coming on FP1 is that Drogovic took P2 in the session. That is credit to his talent. The other rookie was Schwartzman, who was in the top 10. Credit to his talent. These are the two primary reserve drivers who, I mean, like, they are the closest to being in the F1 car than anyone else, essentially. And that is a huge, huge deal. Lawson obviously is in that mix as well. Replay of, was that Lando? Yeah, it's Lando locking up his brakes through that run.
And he still managed to get a P2, so
yeah,
I think the McLaren has a lot to show for it still.
The interesting battle, the other interesting battles is that we've got Oscar at 89, Stroll at 73. There's a 16-point difference. So mathematically, there's a Stroll could move up ninth mathematically, but it's not necessarily.
It's not realistic to assume so, right?
Not realistic, but what's more real interesting is that Stroll is at Gasly's 62. He's only 11 behind from Stroll, and then there is what I'm calling battle Alpine between Gasly, Stroll 11, 12, 62, 68. So there's a 6-point difference between those two. So there's a team battle going on in this race, and it really it behooves Ocon to beat Gasly. He really needs to beat him.
I mean, it seems fitting that Ocon's the one that's trying to fight over his teammate, you know?
We got Spammer.
So realistically, the only way Stroll is ever going to overtake Piastri in the standings if Piastri DNFs and Stroll ends up on the podium. That's it, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I mean, it's a long shot. It's mathematically possible, not likely. So moving. Yeah. I mean, like that's. We'll see.
And Russell so far has set 2 purple sectors, sector 1 and 2. Let's see how it does on sector 3. Piastri is finally out of the car. Yeah, he is. The only 2 cars in the pits are the 2 AlphaTauris, which is, I have no idea what they're going to change their name to. Seems like Racing Bulls is the name that's floating around, but let's not speculate.
Yeah, I mean, we heard Hugo Boss earlier. I think these are being leaked to see what the reaction to names are going to be. That's really what I'm getting. That's my gut feeling at this point. Until we have an actual announcement, it's like who knows what they're going to be named.
Yeah, I get it.
Butcher just finished his lap. He's slotting at 10 with a 126.4. Magnussen did a lap with a 127.2. Russell did, again, right now, P1. Max is slotting in P3, 125.6.
I did see Verstappen there. He definitely lost his rear.
Yeah, he's on, again, doing this on soft tires. So it looks like they're trying to get their qualification set up down.
9, that is, quite a bit behind.
His car looks smoother than it was yesterday, so that's an improvement so far. Again, we've gotten 42 minutes into this session already. 42 minutes left in this session already. Again, this is the Racing Statistics YouTube channel. You are listening to Grash and Gaster giving you commentary on what's on track action at the moment.
Yep, looks like Verstappen's complaining about his rear sliding. I think it will be a problem that plagues all the teams. Why, I have no clue, but it just seems like a lot of teams just do not have that much control of their rears altogether, especially through the specific corners, turn 3 and the last turn. So yeah, we'll wait and we'll watch if they manage to solve any of the current problems they have.
Where is Ricardo? We don't know. He's not on track yet. Neither is Sonoda. Both AlphaTauri cars have not been on track yet.
Once again, Stroll is faster than Alonso, which is not what I expected to see.
Not expected to see, but that's where he is right now. And that's probably.
I think that's a good thing for Stroll because honestly, everyone was he did not have a break from everyone throughout the whole year. Being able to go out of a bang like this would be very good for him. Both for morale and just public image in general.
Let's see if there's anything in the live timing from F1 regarding why AT hasn't come out yet.
Piastri wasn't a lockup, was it? Was that a lock? That didn't look like a lockup. Seems more like the brakes overheating, which is may not be as big of a problem because we're gonna be running a few hours later than this in the actual race.
So one of the things right now is the track temperature is at 44 degrees Celsius. It's about same as yesterday's in FP1, but they're saying that for qualifying that should drop about 8 degrees at the start of qualifying and drop further as qualifying goes on. Again, they're going to be at night for qualifying. Ultimately, basically, we're going to see faster and faster track times because it's getting cooler.
One's currently running a lap on softs. We'll see the gap after sector 2. Used to be just 1.5 tenths, slightly over 1.5 tenths, yeah. And after the second sector, we'll see.
Yeah, I've got no news. There's no news in the I'm surprised. There's nothing in the F1 commentary feed about AlphaTauri not being out on track as of yet. There will be no science penalty as we know so far. Basically, damaged wing, damaged the parts that's supposed to be damaged in that type of crash were damaged, and they weren't nothing that needed to be replaced that was restricted was replaced for science from yesterday. Same thing with Hulkenberg. Was it Hulkenberg? One of the Haas's. It's 4:51 a.m. guys. Give me a break. Hulkenberg's saying that there's some heavy crosswinds on the straight turns 5 to 6.
6, yeah. It seems to be struggling with setting up balance of the car due to it because winds definitely introduce inconsistencies to how the car feels every lap you go around there. So that's going to be a problem that not only I expect Haas to be facing.
I mean, everyone is going to face that issue. I mean, it makes
definitely.
Inconsistent.
Yeah, I'd like to ask a bit more about because there definitely are teams that rely a lot more on aerodynamic grip over mechanical grip. Would you expect the cars that rely on mechanical grip more to fare a tad bit better when there's strong winds going around, or would it just be too minuscule to really matter at all?
Again, they're asking in chat before I answer your question. They're asking who's commentating right now. It's Gratian and Gasker right now are your two commentators right now. My gut feeling on that question is that the way that the wind is moving across the track, because it's erratic, is basically you need to set up for a particular style, like that the wind is blowing in one particular direction, or it's going to be consistent. And when it's not acting in that way and is moving in different directions, it really messes with the car. And it doesn't really matter. Like it's not. It's basically it changes the aerodynamics dramatically. So it's not a mechanical grip versus a. And Ricardo, for those who are looking for him, Ricardo has just come out onto track. He just started his
I
flying
think
lap.
Tsunoda's also on an outlap currently. Is not wrong.
Yeah, no, it's just these cars are so tuned that level of inconsistency with the wind at the level of the gusting that we're getting messes with the car dramatically.
Yeah,
So it's
that
not
makes
it's
sense.
so like a team with more mechanical grip versus air, it doesn't really matter. It's just because we're dealing with so finely tuned cars. That level of inconsistency with across the car is going to cause all sorts of problems.
Regardless of that, all right, makes sense. Just really, it's just not meant to run in the winds, and then when there's winds, it's just gonna run into trouble regardless of configuration, kind of thing. Is that it?
Pretty much.
All right. So Norris, yeah, he has a purple first sector. Ricardo ended up finishing P16, just not that ideal.
Yeah, I mean, this is the
Considering,
first lap. We'll see. He'll probably be back with another lap in a few minutes.
oh yeah, Norris, not too sure yet. He has a yellow second sector. That's not sure if that's a mistake or just.
No, he's got a fastest first sector.
Yeah, he does have a fastest first sector, but it could have been detrimental to his overall so-called balance around the circuit too. He ended up
Yeah,
finishing fifth place, which is not
he's
that big of a
he
jump.
was he was about a fourth of a tenth behind Russell in that second sector, which is probably where he lost most of his time.
Yeah, maybe they need to redo the car again because the jump that they had wasn't as big as, let's say, Aston, which, yeah. And then looks like Verstappen currently has a purple second sector. We'll see how it finishes at the end.
He did improve in his first sector, so he's I think a half a tenth faster after two sectors. So we'll see where he slots in. He improved in his third sector. He comes in a 125.358.
And slots
So Russell
himself
did,
in, yep,
yeah.
second.
Russell did a fly. Yeah, people saying Russell with cheap modes. He's half a second faster max right now.
Yeah, Russell seems to just be really pushing the car throughout the whole weekend. He did finish first in the first practice session, and what did he come out for the second practice?
What was that again? About the practice
What
again?
position did Russell? What position did he finish in
Oh,
second practice?
I don't remember. I have to look that up.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm not taking too much out of second practice because of so many red flags.
No, that's true. Sergeant, he has a yellow second sector. Hmm. If more okay, we'll see how the rest of the teams do it. Could be teams just struggling to really improve overall, just improving on one sector and then struggling on another.
Yeah, Jose in chat right now. No one's pushing at the moment, which is to be expected. We just had some push laps. We got about 30 minutes left to go in this session right now. Again, you're listening to the Racing Statistics YouTube channel. Gratian Gaster are your commentators right now. Following pre-practice one, the last two people to set any notes of note moment is Albin and Sargent, P9, P8, P9, excuse me, 125.7 and then 120.8.848. Oscar's now starting a flying lap. What we think might be a flying. He's
500 away.
Yeah, he's improved in sector 2.
Yeah, so far Piastri 2/10 off Russell's timing at the second sector.
BJ's saying that Russell's top speed is 321 and not enough, and I'm curious why.
321. Piastri slots himself into P3.
That's a 125.395.
Which is not. Yeah, it's still not that close to Russell's timing, but Verstappen, he's maybe 400ths of Verstappen's time.
Tsunoda is starting a flying lap, and so is Ricciardo again on another flying lap. He's improved in both Sector 1 and Sector 2. Ricciardo right now has about a half a tenth advantage in Sector 1 over his teammate.
But he still finishes behind Tsunoda's previous time.
He does, 126.002. We'll see where Yuki finishes up. He's improving in Sector 1 and Sector 2 times. Yuki's has an advantage, then has
Ricciardo.
a tenth of.
Saw that, right? I think he the third sector he seemed to have a problem because he didn't improve there and ended up quite a bit slower than I expected. Now Tsunoda about across the line. Another 20 seconds. Finishes 10th with a 125.8.
I just want to point out, those of you who are watching F1 TV, basically on commentary right now with Alex is Pato O'Ward. He's the Aero McLaren driver, the IndyCar driver for McLaren, who's here this weekend. He did the rookie testing in FP1 for McLaren. It did particularly well as a rookie in that rookie test. So Pato finished 4th here in the United States in IndyCar, so he's one of the top talents. Obviously, Plo is right now our IndyCar champion again. Newgarden being our Indianapolis 500 champion, and again, the other talent you will be hearing about, you probably have heard about, is Colton Herta. Right now, we've got Gasly on a flying lap. What's going on with the Ferraris? Let's see. Are they even on track?
Yeah,
they're
likely doing slow laps, aren't they?
Yeah, they're probably testing medium tire degradation. They're not going full out. They're on mediums. Being that far down, they're probably doing some other program. They're not doing. Let's see where they end up in about like 15 or so minutes. because they're going to throw on they're going to probably throw on softs for the last 10 minutes of this session. So we'll see where they are in 15 minutes or so.
Actually, he didn't improve on his third sector. There's a
No,
lot of drivers that aren't improving on like one sector. Yeah, maybe the wins are really proving to be a problem right now.
I just looked at they've done about 13 and 15 laps. Leclerc and Sainz have done 13 and 15 laps specifically on those medium tires. So they're doing some long run program at the moment. So I wouldn't take any stock in their times right now. We'll see when they come in. They'll come in the pits in about 10, 15 minutes. They'll put a bolt on some softs and go flying.
Oh yeah. Oh, Gasly. I think he Wolff, he understeered. Then oversteered. Oh, and Hamilton also sliding.
Ooh,
Yeah, and what turn was that? Was that that looked like turn 2 or turn 3? Yeah, once again, right around the corners, drivers are really struggling to get to the absolute limit without overdriving.
Ooh.
Someone just asked if someone could explain why Russell's at P1 while Hamilton is at P12. Yeah, I just don't think they're doing the same program. Unlikely so, because I really do not expect this kind of gap between the same car.
Yeah, that's the only thing that we can account for is that Russell has done one particular style of program. Hamilton's doing a different style, getting a different set of data, testing like tire degradation. He's done 16 laps, which is as much as Sainz and Leclerc have done. So he's one of the top three, and Stroll and Alonso have done 15, 16. So he's in the top five in terms of laps so far done in this session. So he's doing something other than a quali run type scenario. I mean, so I wouldn't worry again. 15 laps on a soft tire. Same with Verstappen, Alonso. So Verstappen has done 11, Alonso's done 12, Hamilton has done 15. Zhou has done 11 on those softs. Mediums, Leclerc is 15, and then Sainz 16. So they're not doing a quality program at the moment. They're doing some sort of long run degradation looking on those tires. I mean, that's like 15, 16, 17. That's a stint of on those tires in race.
Yeah,
So these are
maybe
more
they are.
race. These are definitely a race simulation as opposed to a quali simulation out there.
They're really just trying to actually simulate the kind of stint they do in the actual tires, because they are really close to pushing 20 laps, which is quite a bit. Everyone's in the pits now, though, so it seems like it's right around the time where everyone's just trying to set up the car again.
And at this point, we've got about 23 minutes left in this session so far. I want to thank everyone who's here right now. We've got about 3,671, almost 400 likes. We're about 3 off from that. A couple people who are in chat that I didn't see earlier: Elwax, Jose, George Martin, aka Martinator. That's definitely an A. Sly Legs. Some of the people who are in that green chat. RS, I did see RS and Adventures Nomad. Paul is in there as well. Thank you guys for all being here right now. Thank everyone who's here right now. Got Alonso on a lap though. He's didn't improve sector 1, so
Yeah, he's also doing race simulations too. The
That's
Astons and
true.
the
That's true. That's
Ferrari
true.
both are doing race simulations, so it makes sense that he's already 3 seconds off pace at the second sector.
3.5 seconds actually.
Oh yeah,
But these are again heavily used softs that we're seeing right now. So wouldn't worry. Oh, there we go. Up to 427, 428. Thank you guys for the likes.
132 on a used softs, old used softs in race conditions. That is
He did
okay.
12 laps on those.
12, and he goes in and goes out.
Are they?
What's the purpose of that? Like he
I don't
came
know
into
why.
the pits and he
I don't
came
know.
into the area where
It
he'd
might
pit,
be.
and then
It
they just
might
let him go.
be. It could be something that they're like a program that they need to do. That is very odd to see him just come into the pits and then come back out. It may be the end of one program and start of another program that he's doing.
Maybe.
So we've got Alonso Net back on an out lap. Ocon, Albon, Sargent, and Gasly are on out laps at the moment. Let's see. Ocon and Albon. Ocon is already out. So is
Ocon's doing a flying lap, by the way.
So is Gasly. So the Alpines are doing flying laps. They've improved in their
Alright.
first sector, and they are on. I assume there'd be new softs. And Alcon's also improved in his sector 2 times.
Currently 1/10 faster than Russell.
And that's, again, a track evolution and temperatures that are dropping. Albon's got the fastest
Gasly
first.
500. Oh, Albon. I didn't notice that.
He's now just started a flying lap, fastest first sector for him. We'll see how where Gasly comes across the line. About to finish his
Ocon Gasly, but both Ocon about 125.19, Gasly about 125.3. Albon sets a purple sector too. I think Albon's really going at it today, or at least for this lap. Or like as you said, it could be track evolution again.
Track evolution, temperature. He is on softs. He's probably not loaded up. So this is very much more like a.
Because he's already half a second faster than Russell at the second sector. And he slots himself in second. Something happened in the third sector, didn't it?
Yeah, he improved in his third sector, but he didn't get the fastest.
I assume he slid his rear. Let's watch. No, he didn't. He just wasn't faster on there. That's interesting.
He did go a little bit off track at the end of that as well.
And even
So that's
then,
something
he was still slower.
that is something that we're going to have to, for those of you, make sure Ryan knows, is that they're definitely using more than they should be on that track at that last corner. So we are definitely going to see, one of the stories we're going to see during qualification is track times deleted because of particularly that last corner.
Yeah, so I probably see everyone pushing through the first two sectors and then easing a bit on the third one. Because I don't think many drivers would want to risk really going all out on the third and just going off track and having their whole time deleted.
So Sargent,
Vegas on the steered.
so Sargent did come in P2. Sargent came in at P4 with a 125.205. Albon, again, he's the only other one who's broken the 124 right now. So we're definitely going to see Russell now on a flying lap, now pushing. And as expected, those are just the flying lap are coming in the pits. Norris is on a lap, Stroll is on an out lap. So those are the next two who will probably be doing. Russell improves on his first sector, but not the fastest first sector.
Yeah, because Albon currently has the fastest first and second sector, doesn't he?
Yep. Again, Russell improves in his second sector, but does not improve. He improved his first two sector times, but not the fastest in those sectors. We'll see how he does in his third sector.
But Adventurous Nomad, no, they do not delete lap times for free practice. It's only for qualifying.
Yeah, we're noting that stuff is happening, even though the laps are not being deleted. We're noting that stuff is happening because it will show up in quali. So you guys could be knowledgeable and tell Ryan that this was happening during practice. Russell improves on his time. He does a 124.418. He's got the fastest third sector.
Yeah, seems like
all by almost by half a second.
Yeah, seems Williams has to figure out the third sector somehow, but it does make sense that's the sector that they're struggling with. And also, unrelated, but just a while back, I just heard the commentators talking about Verstappen not being happy with his setup, which, as they said, it's not something that you hear often, especially not in the RB19. Which, yeah, definitely the wind has some influence on this. But we'll see how it all folds out after a while.
We've got about 14 and a half minutes left in this session as it stands. Teams are now doing their glory laps just before quali at this point. This is what you can expect in the next 15 minutes of this going forward. Still, a lot of teams are in pits at the moment. I don't think Red Bull would be doing the mind games right now. I don't think they I mean, they
don't really have a reason to.
Yeah, there's no reason to do it. It's more of a mind game to go out and just put rubber to the road and be number one. That's more of a mind game.
Everyone, and then,
that's more of a
you say.
Go ahead. Yeah, that's more of a mind game than to say that you're having an issue. We got the McLarens out on track right now. Norris is 0.14 behind Russell.
Stroll just improved, but he jumped just a position up.
Norris is going to come with a 124.413 within a tenth of Norris. Oscar does a 124.4908, so he does 0.4 behind Norris, so 0.5 behind Russell, and Russell's coming into the pits.
Yeah, Piastri made a mistake in the third sector because he got yellow there, and he's half a second behind Russell. Something must have happened.
Magnus is on track. He's improved in sector 1, sector 2. We'll see where he jumps up after he finishes his lap.
He's at 13th currently. He jumped to 13th. Yep.
He does jump to 13. Am I behind? So you may be ahead of me, right, for a few seconds.
Oh no. My I think my television is right around the same as you because I'm looking at the stream too. So
okay.
I'm also half relying on that. I think the stream is faster than my current screen because it says it's roughly 20 seconds ahead.
Ooh. Yeah, Oscar.
Alonso's improved this first sector.
We just saw Oscar did have a big slide on that last turn.
Oh, he had a slide the last turn. Yeah, really, all the drivers are struggling there, aren't they?
I mean, it's almost a 90-degree turn there, which is one of the big issues with this track.
But just heard someone asking about Ferrari. What happened to Ferrari? Well, they've been doing race simulations the whole time with medium tires, so they're not really pushing yet. That's why they're all the way at the back of the timing charts.
And they're in the
just
pits
as I
right
say
now. And they're currently in the pits. They're probably getting ready to come out in the next few minutes with soft tires. They're the last ones to be on mediums, I believe, at the moment. Like Stroll right now is coming into the pits. He's going to probably get a change up of things and come back out.
Yeah, I just saw Alonso's lap. He slotted himself on P9, but he seems to have not improved his third sector, which is he ended up 9/10 behind. Could have been traffic again. I think that may be an issue that the drivers will be dealing with.
So LX in chat right now is telling us right now the track has already dipped already from 44 degrees to currently to a 41-degree track temperature. And we will see this drop probably another degree in the next 10 minutes. And then it will probably drop another 4, if I got my information correctly, before quali, and keep dropping during quali as well. Yeah, we're at the end of the day, and the sun is coming down, so temperatures are dropping in that section of the world. And we're at 10 minutes to go in this session now. Good question, Galia. What do drivers do if they have a cramp midway through the race, considering how rarely they sit in the car? They suffer through it for the most part. And if it's too bad,
really just have to suffer through it.
Yeah, they suffer through it basically, and if it's too bad, they will have to retire. I know that's if they have a cramp, if it's significantly, it means that they're sick. We know that ultimately that I think it's Singapore. Logan Sargent was sick. I know there's been a couple times.
No, that was Qatar because of the horrendous heat, wasn't it? Yeah. So based on what we saw from Sargent, definitely, if it's really bad, they can retire. So I think it's up to the drivers too. I don't think there's an actual rule saying that they have to retire, but yeah, they do have an option to retire if they do not feel well for whatever reason.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a safety issue at that point if they're not. If they're not feeling well. So those who are asking about Ferrari, they are now on outlaps at the moment. Perez is on outlap, and Albon's on outlap at the moment. Max is he on a flying lap at the moment?
Verstappen, he just went wide. Do you see that? He went wide on, I'm not sure which turn it is. Is this the first turn?
Maybe. So he's abandoning that lap.
Yeah, he slid his rear a bit. Yeah, I think Verstappen is struggling a bit this weekend. Probably didn't help that he ended up not even going for practice 1. Toto just improved his time and his went from 16th to 15th. I'm not super confident about the Alpha this weekend. Yeah, Verstappen just is complaining about bottoming the car, just I guess porpoising.
So Clerk is now starting his flying lap. You see, Hamilton just did a lap. He's in P8 with a 125. Oscar, his last lap was a 124.8. Tsunoda, P11, 125. Bottas, 125.4. And Ricciardo, 125. Leclerc is on a flying lap. He's improved in both Sector 1, Sector 2. I believe Sainz is just starting his flying lap right now. And Leclerc is 0.2 behind Russell after 2 sectors.
Leclerc, he slot himself in P5, which is surprisingly behind Albon, Piastri, and Norris's timing.
So Leclerc's going to slot in P5 with a 125.009. Magnusen's on a flying lap as well. Sainz is improved in the sector 2 times, 117 and a 136.
What I see, Sainz is actually, Sainz is slow. He's quite slow. He's half a second over Russell at sector 2. Because if you look at the timings, Magnussen has actually gotten faster first and second sectors than Sainz. So seems like this Sainz lap, he finishes 19th. Yeah, Sainz just finishes 19th. That's just not a lap you want to see. And Magnussen just gave up on the last lap.
He's in the 125, which is basically where pretty much everyone is sitting.
But he's still big gap behind from everyone. Like, I don't think anyone expected him to just gain one position from this. Because look at Leclerc, he's all the way at P5 with a 125.09 with Sainz 25.7. 7/10 off, which is not what you really want to see.
So Anders saying in chat that Ricardo ruined it for both K-Mag and Sainz. That Ricardo. Could again, that's very much a possibility of what's going on, is that there's just traffic going on.
Okay, so there's a graphic of track dominance, and wow, you just see the Alonso Norris comparison. Norris is just flat out faster, except for the first turn and the straight after the last turn before you cross the finish line, which is wow. Norris really is just that much faster than Alonso right now. We'd have to see Aston do one more lap first before we can really be a bit more sure whether they're that far behind.
Hulkenberg just went off track. And it looks like that turn 2, turn 3 section that we've been talking about.
Yeah, he turns.
And we've got 4 minutes to go in this session right now. So basically, right now, no one is on track doing a flying lap. We should see that change in about a minute or so.
Yeah, this time instead of steering into a wall, he understeered. I believe, looking at this practice too, I think the main thing I realize is that it's not just about who's the fastest, but there's a bit more importance here on who can keep the lap tidy. Because it seems like there's a lot of little things here that just can go wrong and ruin a whole lap. Yeah, and also, I think they're talking about Saints right now, about the fact that they have no idea why they're that much slower, especially around the third sector, because he lost 7/10 there to Leclerc.
He is only a second, he's a second and a quarter behind Russell approximately. So we are looking at the field being bunched up. That is one of the things going on here. And if he's made a couple small errors across that lap, that's enough to put him there.
Showing Lance Stroll right now.
The other thing is, we don't know what's not actually fully 100% on that car. That I'm going to throw that out. I have a suspicion that there's something not repaired on that car. That's secretly, it's okay to run, but not 100%. Like if this wasn't the end of the last race of the year, something would have been replaced. Anders is saying that Ricardo was an issue, just as K-Mag. That's another thing. There's just a lot of little things that could be happening here. I'm just gonna, again, I could be very wrong, but I know that there was, again, we know that Sainz's car was in an accident yesterday, and there was nothing repaired besides the wheel wells and the wheels, essentially, and I think maybe the back wing. At most.
And unrelated, but Verstappen, he has improved on his first sector, but he was 2 tenths behind Russell's timing, and he's passing through sector 2. He's 2 tenths behind Russell, so he's improving definitely, but not at the rate I expected.
Yeah, we're about to see Verstappen finish his lap. He's going to jump at the P6 with the 125.1. We'll see.
Talking about that, Leclerc is actually faster than Verstappen to the first 2 sectors. Yeah, Verstappen goes up to P6, slower than Leclerc's previous time.
And I think Charles didn't necessarily improve on his time.
He almost lost his rear there, and something happened in the third sector for him again.
And he's going to come in with 0.8 off his he doesn't improve in third sector. He's about 0.8 off his previous off of Russell's time. Having said that, we've got Russell, Norris, Oscar, Albon all on outlap. So this is our top 4 at the moment. Ocon, Sargent are on outlap, Gasly on outlap, and Boston on outlap. So everyone is on track. So at this point, okay, time is up. I'm thinking they're all out to get practice starts at this point. Luke JG says Red Bull not winning for the second time. That's very possible. Possible.
Yeah, it is possible, I think, because they're really struggling with balance right now. And looking at Verstappen's timing, he is not. And Sainz, he has went slower.
Yeah, that's.
Something is up with Sainz's car.
What the different color? Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. You can answer the question.
Okay, so Anna says what different colors on the timesheet means. So when we see a purple time on that, is if someone's gone either fastest lap or fastest sector. Green means that they've improved on their the previous best times. Yellow is a time that is slower than a previous, and then red is something more significant, more than just that. Though the red pops up occasionally when it shouldn't. So if you see a time in green that they've improved in their previous time, and again, the two that you're more looking for are the greens, the red, greens, purples, and yellows, essentially.
Yeah. One thing I want to mention right now is that looking at Sainz's car, he seems to really, really struggling. It's not like he's just, he's maybe Leclerc P5 and is P10, 11. He's all the way at the back of the grid. He is slower than the back markers, and that is a very big deficit to his teammate for a front-running team. So I think there's either sort of damage that for some reason they're not aware of, or there's damage where they thought it wouldn't affect as much, but now is proving to be a serious issue, which could lead to them not wanting to run the car at all for the race.
No, they'll run their car in the race. There's no reason for them not to run the car in the race. Sainz is really struggling. So part of why Sainz, part of the struggle here. So there's a couple things going on here. One, at the end of this session, everyone was on track, so traffic was an issue. Two, that's number one. Two, Sainz is only a second and a quarter, approximately 1.29 behind Russell, and he's P20. That's the difference between first and second. That's very small. I know it's big, but for everyone to be in that range, that's how much we've packed up in terms of the grid. So there's that going on. So any small mistakes that science is doing are being magnified because it's so packed up. Then finally, we know that yesterday that he's been in the car.
Yeah,
We know that
that
he is
could
not
have
taking
issues.
he hasn't taken any new parts. So we don't know. I mean, you can run the. So the question is, what parts on that car are not 100%? Like if he's got floor damage, that's why that alone could be the difference. That could be a second right there. We will find. We'll see. Again, it's also free practice 3, so we could see maybe that he wasn't really pushing the car in this session. He didn't, and he's not. And his role wasn't to push the car in this session.
Yeah, that is
We will. Everything gets sorted out in quali. Essentially, is what I've come to learn.
Yeah,
like right
because
now,
we don't know what everyone's doing. They could be running their own program, or maybe and the like. And basically, yeah, it's mainly about the programs. Everyone's just not running the same thing at once. So there could be a sort of gap here and there that wouldn't really appear when we're at the race or in quali.
So they're showing that the top 3 in this session, and Russell in the middle between Norris and Piastri in a orange sandwich. The other suspicious time is Verstappen at P6. The Red Bull. That is suspicious.
But I don't
given
so.
Well, again, given the domination they've had, that feels suspicious. We know that he's been struggling with the balance, and it could be very much track specific. But right now, until we see qualification, that right now looks a little bit suspicious.
Yeah, so again, really, we'd only find out in qualifying. Yeah. I think, unlike a lot of other scenarios, this has a higher likelihood of just Red Bull not matching the setup, just the car just not being able to set up properly here. And yeah, because of the winds and the unpredictability around here, because it does seem a bit like a messy grid in practice. And even just looking at the so-called quali runs by other teams, I think more importantly, it's about, I think I've said it just now, but it's about who can keep the tidiest lap around here, who can consistently put in a decent lap instead of someone who's just incredibly quick.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else what to say. Well, that's our session for FP3. This is, again, I want to thank you for being on with me this morning, Gaster.
Yep, maybe you should have a rest now.
I probably will.
Quali's gonna be. Oh yeah, later it won't be you or me, is it? It's gonna be someone else.
Yeah, it's gonna be Ryan. Ryan will be on for the qualification.
All right.
So, yeah, no, it's been good. Thank you for being on. I want to thank all of you who've been here. Again, this is the last practice, so unless something crazy happens, this is the last time I'm going to be on for this year. So I want to thank everyone who's still here. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for being here, Sly. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, RS. Everyone else, Griff. Everyone else who's in chat. I want to thank. I know particularly Jose has been dominant with getting us information.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for those of you who've been giving. VJ, also, you've been good so these past few weeks as well. I want to again. I can't thank enough of you. If I don't get you, I apologize. Again, Ryan is going to be picking up, carrying on with the qualification in a few hours, and then it'll be the race tomorrow. I think there's word that we may be doing something after. There'll be an extended chat period after the race tomorrow. That's we'll hear more from race statistics whether that's actually happening or not. But if you don't hear from me at any time soon, have a good end of the year, good holiday season, Christmas, whatnot, New Year's, and then worst case scenario, you'll hear me during preseason. All right, everyone, I'm about to take off. I will see you for quali and chat and for race tomorrow. Take care, race fans. We'll see you soon.
And for me, I have no idea if I'd be in chat for quali, but yeah, we'll look. Yeah, okay, all right. See you guys. Maybe I'll try to turn up for once because I don't really go chat often, honestly. So maybe you'll see me. My account is I think it's Fox Gaming. Yeah, that's my one. Don't mind the name. It's cheesy, but it's an old account of mine. So yeah. All right. See y'all later. Maybe. Bye.